Hello, I'm Daniela. In today's video, we're going to make a small little art book. It's in the shape of a ghost. Now I found these ghosts at a dollar store, but you can find shapes similar to these at any craft store, particularly around the holidays. And there are all different shapes depending on the holiday season that you use. You'll need 2 shapes and some paper. I use paper from just a cheap sketch pad, but you can use copy paper just as easily. To get the length you want, you may have to combine 1 or 2 sheets, but that's okay. It's a very simple procedure. I don't even really measure it very much. You'll need some matte medium or Mod Podge, just some adhesive. You can even use a glue stick, although I wouldn't recommend a glue stick. I'd probably veer towards white school glue over a glue stick. Now I have a shorts video where I show how I paint the ghosts, and then I have a shorts video where I bookbind the ghosts, but you can't really get all that information from the bookbinding video. So that's why I have this video here. So let's get started.
So here's the book that we'll be making using those little Dollar Tree shapes. Any flat shape will work. I have just 2 of them because they fit perfectly on top of each other. And then I have my pages here. I found them with a little washi tape on the edge. And that's just, it's not a necessary step, but it's just something I like to do to hold it together. If you don't bind it together with the washi tape, I'll just show you what it's like. And you might prefer this look. So I can just remove that washi tape. And then you get an accordion book. So it's just a little bit different. It really depends on what you like. You can always make a closure if you wanted to use it as an accordion book, or you could use the little washi tape. I'm going to show you the washi tape method today. So to do that, you'll need 2 of your shapes. I have them all painted, and I have a shorts video where I show you how I paint them. This one has just a hint of blue, this has a hint of pink, and I've backed them with black paper just so that the eyes really stand out. I took a white gel pen to make little eyes there. For the backing that attaches it to the book, like I've done here, I have this piece of origami paper. It's a little rice paper. You can use any type of paper. I just like the origami paper because it's a little more durable and it's very pretty. I think it's very, it contrasts very nicely with the ghost. I'm using just a roll of washi tape. Here I have some black one, a pencil and a pair of scissors. To attach my washi tape to my ornament here, my little wood cutout, I'm using Mod Podge. You can use white school glue or matte medium. You can use double-sided tape. So you'll need 2 of your shapes, 2 of your ghosts. Now I'm using a long piece of paper. You could attach papers together if you don't have a long sheet, but this is very simple paper that I got from a little art pad here. It's very inexpensive, but I really like it for the length. And I can use this as the pad for my background. So to get started, I'm going to start with my pencil and my shape. To start with, I need to cut 2 shapes from the origami paper. So I just fold it in half so I only have to cut it once. And then I put my little ghost on it, trace around it, and then cut them out. Now I'm not going to use the entire ghost, so if it doesn't quite fit, that's okay. But I do like to start with a full ghost. So I'll cut this out off camera. And then I need to cut my paper to fit my ghost. So to do that, I look at the actual shape of this piece and I realize I'm not going to fit exactly top to bottom. I'm probably going to fit maybe here to here. So that's not very tall at all. I could use my ruler and just roughly figure out how. It's about 2 inches. So to do that, I'll just take my paper and I mark 2 inches. It's a very small little book. And then I'll mark 2 inches over here. And then I'll just fold my paper. Find that mark. Find that mark on the other side. Now this paper isn't very durable, so you might want to use different paper. You can use any type of paper. You might even want to use copy paper. It's totally fine. You'll just attach multiple sheets together if that's the case. So from here, I'm just going to cut that 2-inch strip. So now from here, you need to make your pages. You want to make them so that one page fits within your ghost. So to do that, you can measure it with a ruler. I like to just take my paper, set it down, and I give myself just a fraction of an inch away from the edge. And then I'll take the other side and fold it. And this just gives me the size page that I want. So I'll fold it and make that nice crease. And then I'll continue to fold the rest of this piece over and under, matching up the size perfectly. Keep my edges straight. And I just press down, and I do this repeatedly so I get my mountain and valley folds. And I'll do this the length of the piece. So after you fold your entire piece, you'll have all your little pages. If I hold them upside down, you can see how it looks. If I want to add additional pages, I'll cut another strip and attach it at the edge. So I can have a very long book or a very shallow book. For this purpose, this little book is fine. I have this little piece left over. It didn't quite fit. So all I'm going to do is just cut that off. Now the last thing you want to do, so you'll have your cover and your back page, is you're going to have your cover so that it opens up so that the fold is on the right hand side. And then you want to make sure that your last page, the fold, is on your left hand side. So I would cut this piece off. And this way I'll attach this piece, set this down, and when I attach this piece, it will open flush. Before I attach that piece though, and by that I mean if I hold it down like this, you'll see one side on either side of the little book. I want to take all the pages on the inside, but not the end pages. And I want to bind them with my washi tape. So I'm just going to set this aside, grab a piece of washi tape. You can even use multiple pieces. The beauty of washi tape is it tears nicely. And I'm just going to take my folded book pages here to make my little spine, put my washi tape down, and I want to try and keep it neat. It's hard to do this in the air. I'll move my board here. And I want to keep it neatly over half of the washi tape over here, so I have half off. And then when I pick this up, I can tear the washi tape and fold it over, and that just makes that little spine. And I'll burnish it really well and trim up the edges. Now this step is completely optional. If you want an accordion book, you don't have to do this little binding method. You can even take a second piece of washi tape just to reinforce that spine. So now I have my little book pages, the cover and the back of the book, and I cut out the origami paper. And you can just do a little test to make sure it's not too big. If it is, you can just trim it up. And it fits on the back here, but we still have a little bit of work to do with it. Right now I want to attach my book pages. And I'll start with the cover, I'm going to just glue it down, and it might be wise just to trim down that cover sheet ever so slightly. And the same thing with the back cover, just shave a little bit off. And then I'm going to take some of my matte medium here, my Mod Podge. I dab it on a little foam brush, and I put it right down here. So again, I want to make sure that my papers are lined up accordingly. I have my spine, my two little end papers, and now I just want to gently press that book in position. I have a few moments of leeway here where I can move it around, but once I'm happy with it, I'll just press it into position, and I can close my book and it fits nicely. I like to do one side and then the other. So from here, because I didn't use an abundance of matte medium, just enough to hold it down, it's not wet. It's not dried yet underneath, but it's still manageable. I'll take a very thin coating and brush it on top of that piece. And this seals the cover to the book. Now, ideally, you'll let this dry because it's easier to work with, but I'm not going to, and you don't have to either. I'm going to set this down, but I'm also knowing that I'm going to trim the edge off so that it fits, because it doesn't fit this way. It butts up against the page. So I'm just going to gently set it down, and then I fold it over just so that there's room for the page here. I'll pull this off and cut off the edge. And now I'll take some more of that Mod Podge and brush it onto that paper. I'm going to go all the way to the edge of this rice paper, this end paper here, where I've cut my ghost apart. And now I can just set it down. It makes a nice little backing, but it also secures that spine and the pages to our book cover. And again, I burnish it well. Now you can paint another coat of Mod Podge over this, but I'm going to wait on that. If I paint a coat of Mod Podge on it, it becomes sticky and it becomes a little unmanageable, and I want to finish the book. So again, I'm going to take a little bit of that Mod Podge and brush it over the back of the book. Just the areas that I know I want my end papers to go on. So I'm going to fold this down, line up the front and the back ghost, press it down, and then when I pull it up, I have just the end paper. I did get a little bit of glue on this paper, but I'm going to cover that up with collage anyway. But now I'm just going to press that down, and before I Mod Podge this side, I'm just going to test out this end paper, fold it into position, make that cut, and then I can attach this as well using that same procedure. I'm going to brush a little Mod Podge on the top just to seal in that end paper, and now I'll coat this. So now I have my spine and my pages, and I have my little ghost here. It's a very cute little book. I'm going to decorate it with just some collage work, maybe tuck in a few little things. But I also want to make sure that I coat these pages here with a little more of this matte medium. You don't need a lot, you just want to make sure it's coated nicely, seals it all in. I'm using a matte formula, the matte Mod Podge, and this way hopefully the pages won't stick after it dries and cures. So that will be about 24 hours or so. It will dry to the touch sooner, but you really want it to cure nicely. And so there you have an accordion book using those little ghost ornaments. It's very cute to keep on a little shelf and to fill in with just some spooky little images. You could fill it in with stickers or collage. It's a cute little idea.
So that's how I create my little ghost book keepsake. I think it's charming. I love to have it on my mantle, specifically at Halloween time of the year. I love to use these wooden cutouts. Not only do I enjoy painting them, but I enjoy using them in different applications throughout my home and my work. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. And please consider becoming a paid member of my channel. Thanks for joining me today.